Welcome back. It's Miss Ella at All Saints again. Well, I'm in another place today. And you know what? This is one of my very, very special places. It's our altar at our church. And this is something I wanted to share with you. You've probably been upstairs and seen the altar, but since we're in that season of waiting, this is going to be very, very special for you to look at all the things that are coming our way. Now, you remember we talked about Advent and the wreath we made and the symbols that we all were looking for the whole month. Well, let's do a little refresher of some of that. Now, we started with looking at things like decorations. Have you ever thought about why we do so many decorations? Have you ever thought about why the lights twinkle on trees? Have you ever thought about the gifts that you get under your Christmas tree? Well, Advent again is a season of waiting. And if you look behind me, we have the setting of a creation. But you know, there's something missing. There's no baby in the creation. You know why? Because we're waiting for Christmas Eve, for the birth of baby Jesus. Now, I wonder if you know the story of Saint Nicholas, because I always tell you different stories and different events that have happened in our church history that involve saints. Well, Saint Nicholas, some people call him Saint Nick, is the reason that we're going to be talking today. Saint Nicholas was born, a long, long time ago, and he was in a small village in Turkey. And Turkey is over in Europe, and there's an arrow that points to it. But in that village, as a young boy, he lost his mom and his dad. So he grew up, he had a passion for people and for children, other children. So what he would do is, he thought, how can I be a gift to other children like me? Because so many people helped him. Saint Nicholas was not a saint at that time. He became a saint at the age of 30 years old, a young man. And there's a prayer that we say called the Nicene Creed here at church. Saint Nicholas was one of 318 bishops who actually went to the council of what we call Nicaea and had a part in making and creating that creed. Now, as a bishop, he still continued to love people and love children. And what he had been doing secretly, nobody knew it, is he was wandering around and he was putting presents and gifts and doing special things for people, but not telling anybody he was doing it. He would leave them on the doorstep of the house. He would put them through the windows. He would come down the chimney. Does that sound like somebody you know? I bet it does. I think we have a name for him. We call him Santa Claus. Well, Santa Claus is a word. It comes from the Dutch, who actually brought the memory of Saint Nicholas to America back in I think it was around the 17th century. Now, his name was not Santa Claus. His name was Sinterklaas, and that transformed to Santa Claus. And that's how we have that name today. So when you think of Santa Claus, we're really talking about Saint Nick. We went from Nicholas to Saint Nick. Something else that you wonder about. Why do we have a Christmas tree? What does it have to do with our Advent? Do you know? I wonder if you can tell me. Do you have a Christmas tree put up already? Well, I want you to look at your Christmas tree. Do you know your shapes yet? Circles, triangles, squares? Well, if you look at a Christmas tree, and I brought one for you to look at today, what shape do you think you see in the Christmas tree? It's got a point, and it's got a side and a side. If you take a piece of paper and you actually mark it that way, it's going to look like a triangle. And a triangle has three sides. So we're going to say that this is a side, and a base. there's our Christmas tree. But we're going to say that has a meaning. The meaning of these sides are Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Did you ever think of that before? Those three sides are so important for this time of the year, so important in our lives, our Christian life. Well, the Christmas time is when we celebrate the Spirit, because Christmas is the spirit of a child being born. A glorious time that we all want to cherish and remember and share gifts. And that's why you see presents under the tree. I have some presents. So when baby Jesus is here, we're going to show him how much we love him. And we're going to show him he is our gift. And we're going to put our gifts around him so that he will know how special it is. Now, the tree, remember when we did our Advent wreath when we created it? We talked about evergreens and how special the roundness of the wreath was because it's everlasting. And the greenery, all part of that Advent wreath. And last week, we lit our first purple candle. And if you notice, here in church, we've lit our first candle also. And the rest of them are waiting for you to see us light every week until Christmas Eve. And when Christmas Eve comes, we do our white candle. And we are finished with our waiting. Now, Nicholas, what's so special about Nicholas, he got older as a bishop, but the miracles kept coming. We don't know about those miracles today, except that he did a lot of them. Well, as he got older, later on, St. Nicholas died. But you know what was the miracle? The gifts kept coming. We don't know why. They kept coming through windows, through the chimney, on the porch. So there's something special that St. Nicholas has brought to us and to us worshiping and loving and being part of the Christmas season with baby Jesus. Now, you can see from several Bible verses that it is important that you know that that gift of that baby Jesus is something that we have that has affected us and continues to grow us and to make us stronger and to keep us focused on doing good. So there is a verse, a Bible verse, that says, the Word came through flesh and dwelt among us in the baby Jesus that was born that first Christmas morning. As we celebrate our Christmas, I want you to continue to know the reason for the season. It is because we're celebrating. Our waiting will be over on Christmas Eve. But for right now, we're starting week 2. So don't forget to do your candle. I hope you made your wreath. I hope it was beautiful. I hope you have fun doing it with your family member. And I look forward to seeing you as we keep growing through this Advent season. Now, I always finish with a prayer. So I have a special prayer for you today. This is our prayer for St. Nicholas. Almighty and everlasting God, who did enkindle the flame of your love in the heart of your servant Nicholas, grant to us, your humble servants, the same faith and power of love, that as we rejoice in his triumph, we may profit by his example. He was a wonderful example for us. Thank you for joining me today. Have a happy, happy holiday and enjoy lighting your candles, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.